Hello, welcome to Board Game Bonkers. I'm JC. Today we're going to take a look at our top 6 small box games. Now we're talking about small box games, i.e. in the size of, say, Tiny Epic. Board games will give an idea of the size. And we're going to dive into that in just a second. But before we do that, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so you can check out more content like this coming out in the future. And also, I want to bring your attention to articles I write in the board game industry on Medium. I put the link in the description down below. Please do check that out. And sometimes those articles actually cover topics we discover and create videos on, and sometimes you can read those articles before we put the videos out, so you can get some insight into what potentially may be coming out in the future. So with that out of the way, I haven't got any honourable mentions. We're going to dive straight into our number 6, and I'll put these in a specific order, starting with my least favourite out of the top 6, but all are good, solid games. So my number 6 is Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. So in this game, this is a worker placement game. So you're going to be placing your workers out, and it's a bit of a unique worker placement element where you can actually place workers in the same spot as another person, but you need twice as many as what has already been placed there. So if they have a worker there, you can place 2 workers, and you also have this larger grandiose worker that you can place in access to. There are also different spaces where you'll be collecting dinosaurs, you'll be fulfilling contracts. You can't fulfill a private contract until you've fulfilled a commercial contract, which is a public contract. And that can be difficult to do because you have to do it at the same time, which is really difficult. And fulfilling a contract is essentially selling your dinosaurs to those contracts. So you're trying to place your dinosaurs into your little park. You'll be building fences to stop them escaping. They'll have babies and mutate, and they can run away. And you got to be careful of the T-Rex because they can do a bit of damage. There's also a worker placement spot where you'll be rolling a die to try and collect and gather more dinosaurs. But of course, if you haven't got enough resources to go there, there's actually a chance spot where you can go to this particular area and roll the die, which will tell you the outcome of whether you get scratched, perhaps you get a dinosaur, perhaps you have an extra baby as well. So there's a bit of a risk there, and you're trying to fulfill different contracts, and you also get points for having dinosaurs at the end of the game in your park. It's quite interesting. There's also different technology cards that you can gather, and they'll give you different little bonuses as well, and they give you unique dinosaurs which you can place into your park as well. So with that out the way, do we like this game? What do we think is great? I really like the worker placement method of this. Place your worker there, you can place more to still take the same actions. You aren't always completely blocked, and there's enough spaces to place your workers out, and it's a lot tighter with more players. It makes it more competitive, and it's really interesting as you build your little park and you get these different ability cards, technology cards that give you different abilities and help you in your quest to try and fulfill those contracts. It's really difficult to fulfill 2 contracts though at the same time, because when you do a public contract, you've got an option to fulfill a private contract, but that's really difficult because you need a lot of dinosaurs in your park to do that. Got an interesting game. It does feel varied enough, but can get a bit samey if you're playing it quite a lot. Really small little compact game you can take anywhere on your travels as well. So let's move in to our number 5, and that is Tiny Epic Zombies, another Tiny Epic game. So in Tiny Epic Zombies, well, you'll be going out in quest. What's great is you can actually attach items, guns, and all sorts of equipment to your meeples. It looks really cool indeed. And you're going around rolling some die to then attack the zombies, and you're trying to stop the zombies getting to your survivors, and you're building these barricades for your survivors, and you're trying to complete these quests. There are different types of quests, and we played through a couple of these, and they're really cool indeed because they're all varied and slightly different. Some are a bit more challenging than others, and you've got this bike you can go through the mall or whatever the location is that you're in, and then you can run zombies over, and it makes it a bit easier to try and defeat them. It can be a bit luck in terms of rolling the die, but we were actually fortunate. When we played this a few times, we found it a little bit too easy because we were just destroying all the zombies and none of our survivors got attacked once. Perhaps we were just lucky, but sometimes the rolls can go against you. So if you're not a fan of a lot of luck, then this might not be used, but they certainly take elements from Zombicide in terms of how this game operates. But I really like how small and compact it is. It feels thematic, and the scenarios are varied enough, and you've got different types. I know I wouldn't give much away in terms of the scenarios, but there are quite unique, some of them, and how they work. They don't feel too samey, but the best bit of this is gearing up your meeples, and they look cool on the board. Really, really great. I really enjoy this, and I like the feel that it gives. And it plays around about an hour. I had a fun, great experience. So definitely check it out, Tiny Epic Zombies. So let's now move in to our number 4. And this is a very small, simple, straightforward card game, Greedy Kingdoms. This is an import from Japan. It's not as big in Japan, and it was being picked up by AG and brought in to Europe and the US. This is a really good, fun little game. Now, a couple of caveats which I'll come to in just a second. Essentially, you've got these cards all in your hand. You've got a lot of different cards. You're going to be choosing and playing 3 cards face down. Your opponent will also play 3 cards face down on their end. What you're doing, flicking them simultaneously over. And if your opponent, who is defending, has got the same type of symbol card, then they will cancel out your card. So what you're trying to do is gather resources, and then you're trying to fulfill the requirements to build these palaces, which all require the same resources. Once you've built 2 palaces, you've won. There is a marketplace where you'll be acquiring different cards. There's 2 different cards. There's ones that you'll be placing in front of you. That's an ongoing ability, and the others is a one-off ability, and it will help you do various different things. What's quite cool about this game is when you've laid the cards out, the 3 cards, actually you can use resources for one card to pay for it to activate another card that then in turn give you different resources. So it's really fascinating. And as my daughter explained, it's quite mathy. Well, it's not too mathy. You're just looking at the symbols and trying to work it out. Now the game does feel a bit short because you can upgrade, yes, you can upgrade your cards into better cards. So essentially what you're doing is you'll discard 2 resources and then you'll be drawing from this drawn pile, but it's quite random because you don't know which character you will get that will replace one that's in your hand. And it could be one you don't want or don't really use. So that is a little bit of a caveat to me. So we actually change rules slightly. We lay out 3 cards so that you can see, just like the marketplace, which characters you want to upgrade. And you've got a choice, but it's going to cost you a bit more, or you can take a gamble and go for the ones from the draw pile. And the other caveat to this is it feels that the game isn't long enough, because once you've kind of built those 2 palaces, and really you don't need to upgrade any of your character cards to do that, the game is over. So you feel compelled not to upgrade your characters. It feels a waste of resources. So instead, I've actually developed castles that you need to build as well. So instead of just having 2, it's any 3, which makes the game just a little bit longer, but it means that you're enticed to upgrade your characters, which is really what this game should have involved. And I have to say, I like the game as it is, but I just think it's better with those little tweaks and changes that I put in. Yes, I shouldn't have to do that, but I think it makes the game better, and I really do enjoy this little game, perhaps more than some other people. But I think it's fun, it's quick, it's easy to get to the table. It can be a little bit overwhelming for young players because there's so many cards in your hand. I think it's about 12 cards. There's a lot to choose from and think about. So I wouldn't recommend this for you really young players, perhaps ages maybe 10 plus, although it says 6 plus in the box. There's no way on earth I would play this with a 6 or a 7-year-old because it's too confusing for them. Great little card game, highly recommend it. Greedy Kingdoms, check it out. So let's now move in to my number 3, and this is Stella. This is a really nice card game where you'll be gathering these cards, placing them into this telescope-shaped night sky to give you that vision of different types of visions that you'll be seeing in the night sky, stars, eclipse, all different types of stardust, planets, etc. And what you're trying to do is set collection, trying to place those cards in different ways and orders to maximize your points. And it's quite tricky. Now you've got a row of cards laid out. You can then take that card and place it into your notebook, which then you'll be working out what cards to place into your telescope. And it's beautifully visually appealing. It looks stunning when you see all the cards forming this telescope, which obviously looks like the night sky. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I find it's a pleasant game. It is quite thinky in terms of where you place your cards, because you want certain cards next to others to maximize your points at the end of the game. But I find it pleasant and visually appealing. I really do recommend checking this out if you want a more pleasant type of small card box game. So let's now move into our number 2. And this is a Tiny Epic game, and I really like this one. This is Tiny Epic Galaxies Blast Off. Particularly, this is the second part of this game, i.e. almost like a second edition of Tiny Epic Galaxies. I think this is better. I think the the actual artwork looks nicer as well. So essentially what you're doing is rolling some dice, nice dice icon resolution. You'll be resolving those dice. There's certain resources you can spend. There's two main resources, and then you can re-roll some dice as well. You're placing them into this mat, and there's a particular space in that mat that lets you manipulate a dice to any icon. And then those dice icons let you do different things, fly ships to the planets, cards that are laid out, and then you can terraform those planets. You're trying to terraform them to give you points. Once you terraform the planet, you then place it at the bottom of your player board, and that'll give you an ongoing ability, which you can trigger from one of the die icons. And essentially that's what you'll be doing for the whole game. But I find it a really pleasant, fun little game that doesn't take too long to play, and certainly isn't complex by any means. It's quite a light to medium game, but certainly the theme does come through, and it's simply two resources, really simple to grasp for younger players as well, and it's really straightforward in how to terraform the planet. You're just going up this track, and it will help you gather more resources as well, or you can place a ship on the planet to give you a one-time bonus for moving on that planet instead of terraforming. So you've got that decision space. Do I want this resource, or do I want to start terraforming the planet? I really like that, and I like there's some manipulation with the dice, and as you gather those planet cards, it'll give you some more added bonuses. And there's also another track on your player board that you'll increase. It'll give you more ships to place out and additional victory points. Really enjoy this game. It's fun. I haven't got to the table that much recently, but I do enjoy it when I bring it out. So let's now move in to our final one, our number one. This is Ascension Eternal. This is strictly a two-player only game. I really like this. If you used to and like Ascension and you want a more streamlined, simple version, it's just strictly for two players, I recommend this. It's fun, it's great. This is a deck builder. You'll be building your deck of cards. There aren't a huge amount of combos. Instead, you have these different types of cards. For compost, I forgot what they were called, compost, I think. You lay them out in front of you and they'll give you an ongoing bonus. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get these military cards to help attack monsters that are out on the central board. There are 6 cards that are laid out, or they could be different cards you put into your deck. So what will happen is you're trying to get these gems, and that's going to give you points. Defeating monsters will also give you points as well. So you need military cards into your hand to play that will then attack monsters, and it'll give you points and sometimes a one-off bonus. Or you'll be able to place these other cards, heroes for example, into your hand, which then will give you different types of bonuses as you play them. It's a standard deck builder where you've got your discard pile, you've got your draw pile, and you'll be drawing a certain number of cards, which is 5 in your hand, and then playing cards to then look at acquiring new cards or defeating monsters. So it's a really nice streamlined deck building game. It really does feel thematic. The theme does come through in this one. I really find this engaging. My partner loves it. She wants to play this all the time. I can see why. It really is engaging, fun, quick. And what's great as well, you can play this with younger kids. I play this with my daughter, who's 11. She grasps it really easily, and it's quite straightforward in how it plays. The constructs that you place out onto the table in front of you can get destroyed by other players. You have to be careful with that, but they give you a lot of points at the end of the game if they're still laid down in front of you, but they give you that ongoing bonus that you can trigger once each turn. So I really like that little twist. And you've got this cultist laid out as well. You can't really do anything, but you've got 2 attack. You can attack the cultist. It gives you 1 gem. And when all the gems are gone, that triggers the end of the game. So you're working out, when do I want to start getting those gems? And when do I want to start getting cards that will give me points? Because each card has points in the lower left corner. I think it's lower left. That will tell you how many points you will get at the end of the game. And obviously, whoever's got the most points is the winner. Simple streamlined game, highly recommend Ascension. And I just recently brought out, not that long ago, around 12 months ago, the 10-year anniversary edition that I would highly recommend you check out as well. So that brings us to the end of our top 6 small box games. I really hope you enjoy this. These are small compact games that you can take in your travels as well, and they're easy to fit into a suitcase if you're perhaps traveling abroad. I highly recommend checking these out, and I've made sure I've varied the list, but these are my favorite at the moment top 6 small box games that I'm really enjoying. I hope you enjoy this, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Give our videos a thumbs up. It's free to do so, and it helps the channel grow. And the video get up into the charts so it can be recommended to other people to check out. Thank you so much, and until next time, my name's Jay Sears. Take care.